Good morning, everybody. Gentlemen of the press, first, let me sincerely thank and appreciate each and every one of you for breaking off from your very busy schedule to come and attend this briefing with us this morning. I know that this is a very busy period for everybody, and there's so much we could be doing now, but you have chosen to be here with us, and I'm grateful. Since after the March 18th elections, I have not had a direct interface with the press and then with the public. And I decided that it was time for me to make a few comments on what has happened so far. The first thing I would like to say, of course, is to give thanks to The first thing I would like to say is to give thanks to Almighty God for life, because there are so many Nigerians who got up last Saturday to participate in the democratic exercise in this country, but they are not here today, and they are not in any position to make any comment on the election or on the country. But by the grace of God, we are alive, and then we can talk. So we must be grateful for that. Secondly, I want to use this opportunity to thank Rivers people, particularly members of the Social Democratic Party and supporters of my candidacy, who tried to come out to express their preference in what was supposed to be an electoral contest. Unfortunately, across the state, people were clearly and visibly disenfranchised. Election is not an event. Democracy itself is a process. And we all expected that the process in Rivers State will be, we don't expect it to be anything other than a Nigerian election, but at least we expected some measure of open participation in which Rivers people will be able to have an opportunity to express their preference one way or the other. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. And all the signs that there will be no democratic process or practice in the state was evident even before the elections. We continue to trust that the government of Nigeria will look at the events happening in Rivers State and make some effort to provide not a level playing field, but at least a playing field for us all as citizens of our country and representatives of our different political parties to be able to participate in the contest. That didn't happen. Intimidation, harassment, state-sponsored violence continued all through the campaigns, culminating in the elections itself. It got to a point where the entire traditional rulers in council in Rivers State were compelled to adopt as their sole candidate the candidate of the People's Democratic Party, and this was done publicly. Beyond that, all traditional rulers were further instructed or mandated to go to their different domains and compel their people that those who do not want to vote for the preferred candidate of the government should not be allowed to come out to vote. That created, of course, great voter apathy, coupled with the fact that thugs and militants across the state were mobilized to come out to warn people who did not want to vote for the PDP not to come out. Actual voter turnout in several parts of the state where this was effectively communicated particularly among the non-indigenous residents here in River State, was reduced to almost zero. This is clear to everybody who was here in the state, and those who defied the warnings, because people were told that if you come out, you will be killed, your shop, you will be driven out of the community, you will not be able to live here. Those who defied the warnings to try and come out got the beatings of their lives. They were severally beaten. In fact, in Obunabali, one Saro Kune, who merely by being present when people were being warned that those who do not want to vote for the PDP should go back, and simply raised his hand to express a contrary opinion in the presence of the PDP chieftain who was handing out that instruction, just to raise his hand to express a contrary opinion that it might be proper for everybody to be allowed to vote for any candidate of their choice. He was beaten, brutalized, and left for dead. In fact, for several days, the rumor was that he had passed. But by the grace of God, people were able to recover him and take him to the hospital, where he still is up till now in a near state of coma. This happened in the presence of the police, and the people who beat him that were arrested were released that same day to go back and participate in the election. In Alu, one Pobnem Bright, who came out to cast his vote, and it was found out that he voted for the SDP. He was beaten, his head was broken, and the video of this young man with his bleeding head and shirt was all over the place, and this happened right in front of the police. Up till now, no one was arrested, no one is being prosecuted for any of this. In several places, our agents were arrested just for being SDP agents. They were arrested, some were arrested on the grounds that their tag did not conform with their name or something. They were all arrested, even though they were the official party agents, and locked up all through. Some of them are still being locked up as we speak. In fact, one of our agents who was going around was caught by the Commissioner of Police. And when he explained that he was a party agent, he was asked to go. On second thoughts, one of the policemen now asked him for which party. As soon as he mentioned SDP, the CP directed that he should be arrested. He was taken to Force Headquarters. At Force Headquarters, when they took him on patrol and got back to Force Headquarters, when they got back there, people who were arrested with ballot boxes, with BFAS machines, with guns and all that were there. But all of them were released. But the SDP agent who was arrested just for being on the road was kept there all through the elections, and at the end of the day transferred to state CID. The level of violence, brutality visited on the Social Democratic Party in this state is unprecedented in the history of politics in River State. River State has always been known for violence, but the kind of genocidal violence that was meted out to groups suspected of having sympathy for the SDP or trying to vote for the SDP is unprecedented even in the history of Rivers politics. In Ahoda East, 4 persons were killed, 2 of them members of the SDP who merely resisted people who came to carry away the ballot boxes and BFAS machines. They were summarily executed. And as we speak, nobody was arrested, even though those who shot them were known. And all this happened in the presence of security agencies. Nobody was arrested. The only person that was arrested for vote buying in River State was an SDP agent. And the entire state knows that SDP did not release 1 naira shishi to anybody in this state. We did not even give money to any ward. We did not give money to any leader. We gave no 1 naira to anybody. But the only person that was arrested for vote buying was a member of the SDP. People were carrying tons of cash around. Bags and trailer loads of wrappers were freely being shared. Nobody was arrested. The only person who was arrested for vote buying in Rivers State was a member of the SDP who had not 1 naira even on him as a person, but he was arrested. As we speak today, the only INEC staff that was arrested for rigging elections or for electoral offenses are the person who stood up when they wanted to change her result. And she said, SDP won in my unit. Oh, just that word, that the entire people were arrested and taken by the police. They are the people that committed electoral offenses. But everybody in this state knows that there was no collation in Ahoda West. And the collation for Ahoda West was done at the INEC headquarters here, upstairs, by people who were not collation officers. Nobody was arrested. Videos of council chairmen cutting away election materials are all over the state, all over the country. Nobody has been arrested. But SDP members, some of them were even arrested before the elections, over 100 of them. Everybody else in the state has been released, except members of the SDP. They are the ones to be transferred to INEC as electoral offenders. I have said before that those who have power of violence and continue to think that the rest of the population are nothing but beating drums for them and their power should remember that this kind of conduct in our country can only breed resentment, hatred, disenchantment, disillusionment, and in its later stages, it will inflict on the society some of the things that we all know that we do not need. I don't think that this is the way to go. I have seen some documents circulating in the media that Senator Abe congratulated the winner and said that he did not contest to win. I decided that certain things do not even deserve a response. Everybody who is in Rivers State saw what happened here. We all know what happened here. I would say that I still continue to have faith in Nigeria. I will consult with members of our team. We will look at the situation holistically and decide on our next steps. But for me, I want to appeal to all Nigerians. We have no other country but this one, and it is our responsibility to fix our country and make it better. It is not a task on which we can give up. And no matter how good the country is, we can still make it better. And no matter how bad it becomes, it is still our responsibility while we are alive to still struggle to create a better community for all Nigerians. I want to say that some of the things that happened in Rivers State during these last elections are capable of inciting division, hatred, and violence amongst us here as Rivers people. But that will not be the way to go. We must, as much as possible, remember that these things are acts that are perpetrated by single individuals. There is no question of Ikwere people targeting Ogoni people and all that. That is not correct. These are actions of single individuals. Ogoni people were clearly disenfranchised in this last election. They were not allowed to vote. All the votes that they voted, as soon as people finished accreditation, particularly in Thai local government, all the materials were carted away. And in a lot of places, thumb printing is still going on, even as we speak, to match figures that have already been declared. Nigeria can do better. I want to use this opportunity to really, really sincerely thank members of our party. Your courage, your commitment, your determination, even in the face of unprecedented physical danger and violence, is something of great joy and encouragement to me as a person. I want to enjoin all of us, appeal to all of us, not to be deterred. As long as we draw breath, our commitment to building a better society by whatever means and opportunity that we'll have remains unshaken and unshakable. Ignore whatever you see going on, maintain the peace. Those who want to do anything to try to express their discontent, I would appeal that let us allow the situation to take its course. I believe that it is not only Rivers people that saw what happened in Rivers State. The entire country saw it. I want to appeal to the police. If murderers did not commit electoral offenses, if people who came out to carry ballot boxes did not commit electoral offenses, if all these people did nothing wrong, why is it that members of the SDP for wearing wrong tags will be the ones to be prosecuted in Rivers State? Nigerians must ask questions, because these people are public officials who are being paid from public resources. You cannot serve one person to the detriment of the entire country. If these people are unjustly persecuted as they are being by the police, it will create disaffection in this state that will be difficult for all of us to control. That's all I have to say for now. Thank you very much.